In the darkness of the deep void, among the stars, a traveler was advancing. This traveler was a former king, dethroned, condemned to exile by the harsh hands of fate. His name was Alalu, and with desperate courage, he had surrendered himself to the unknown. His destination was a planet shining from afar with its white and blue hues, covered in ice. Earth. Nibiru, his homeland, was in a great crisis. Its atmosphere was depleting, and the future of its people was fading into uncertainty. Having been removed from his throne, Alalu was searching for a place where he could find salvation as a last hope. With his knowledge and experience, he had predicted the existence of a planet rich in gold beyond the hammered bracelet, known as the asteroid belt. If he could find this gold, he could save Nibiru's atmosphere and perhaps reclaim his throne. A long and perilous journey awaited him. No one had ever dared to cross the hammered bracelet before. There, massive rocks moved in unstable orbits, acting like deadly traps. But Alalu had nothing left to lose. Either he would die on this journey or find salvation through his success. As his ship glided among the stars, Alalu looked back at Nibiru. The reddish glow of the planet drifting in space reminded him both of his homeland and the pain of exile. His eyes followed a new course in the depths of the sky, and the first celestial body he encountered was Pluto. That small and cold object, as if guiding him, rotated in its orbit, showing Alalu the way. Leaving Pluto behind, the bluish glow of Neptune appeared. For the first time, Alalu was observing the depths of the solar system up close. As he passed Neptune, an even greater giant appeared before him. Uranus, this massive planet, shimmering in a greenish-blue hue, had moons that caught Alalu's attention. But his journey was long and dangerous. He could not afford distractions. When he reached Saturn, this celestial body mesmerized him. Its colossal rings formed a magnificent, interwoven structure, shining in the sky like a crown. However, he could not linger here for long. His mission was to find the gold that would bring salvation. Next came the immense presence of Jupiter. This gas giant, ruling over the entire solar system with its sheer size, threatened Alalu's ship with its storms and swirling gases. Jupiter's gravitational force was so strong that Alalu had to maneuver his ship carefully to maintain control. The enormous great red spot, spinning endlessly in the heavens, filled Alalu's heart with fear. But he did not give up. The real test was the asteroid belt. Here, gigantic rocks moved chaotically like soldiers on a battlefield. If he could not pass through, his ship would be torn apart, and his journey would end. As the ship navigated through the glowing debris, Alalu activated his weapons. He engaged his missile systems and blasted the massive rocks in his path, carving a way through. Finally, after passing through that deadly region, he took a deep breath of relief. Now only one final step remained before reaching his goal. As he approached Earth, the planet's beauty captivated him. Much smaller than Nibiru, this world gleamed like a jewel with its blue and white colors. Its poles were covered in ice, with vast oceans and land masses stretching in green and brown tones. Entering the atmosphere, his ship's heat shields activated. Earth's gravity pulled his vessel downward rapidly. Struggling against the planet's dense atmosphere, he searched for the safest landing spot. At last, he completed his journey, landing near a large body of water at the edge of vast marshlands. It was a rough landing, but he had succeeded. Alalu opened the hatch of his ship and cautiously looked outside. The air seemed suitable for breathing. When he took his first step, the feeling of Earth's cold soil beneath his feet symbolized his victory. Now he was here to make the discovery that would determine the future of Nibiru. Alalu's legendary journey was complete, but the real battle was just beginning. While Alalu still felt the jarring effects of the landing, he opened the door of his ship. The unknown awaiting him outside was a mixture of excitement and fear. To ensure he could breathe, he used the ship's sensors to analyze the atmosphere. The result was promising. Although Earth's air was different from Nibiru's, it seemed breathable. With trembling hands, he adjusted his helmet, donned his fish suit, and took a cautious step. The moment his foot touched the dark soil, a deep sense of relief washed over him. After the long journey, he had survived. But the real mission was only just beginning. Looking around, he realized that Earth was far more striking than he had anticipated. The sky was a captivating blend of blue and white. In the distance, silhouettes of unknown mountains were visible. Vast marshlands stretched out around him, swaying gently in the wind, signaling the presence of water. Alalu carefully walked towards the edge of the marshlands. The water had a dark greenish hue, and small ripples were forming on its surface. He picked up a stone and threw it into the water. The stone made a big splash, and in the following movement, he noticed creatures in the water stir. Earth was definitely full of life. As he moved closer, Alalu saw that the movements in the water weren't just from fish. Suddenly, a long, slippery creature glided out of the water. Alalu instinctively pulled back. This was unlike anything he had seen on Nibiru. With its long, slender body, forked tongue, and glowing eyes, this serpentine creature proved that Earth was filled with alien and unknown dangers. Regaining his composure, Alalu used the analyzer he had brought with him to take a sample from the water. Eagerly awaiting the result, the symbols on the device's screen were disappointing. The water was not suitable for drinking. Containing heavy minerals and unknown substances, it could only be safe if purified. Alalu looked up. The sun was much brighter than on Nibiru, and its rays were intensely strong. He put on a mask similar to sunglasses to protect his eyes and continued walking. He knew he had to explore further. As he moved through the greenery, he reached an area that resembled a fruit orchard. The trees were large and strong, their branches laden with bright, colorful fruits. This was a major discovery for Alalu. He slowly picked a fruit and smelled it. It had a sweet and inviting aroma. Taking a small bite, its flavor enchanted him. Earth was not only livable due to its atmosphere, but also had abundant food sources. Continuing his journey, he came across a puddle of water on the ground. The water in this pool was much clearer than in the marshlands. This time, he carefully submerged his analyzer. The results were uplifting. The water was drinkable. He scooped a handful and drank it. It was different from Nibiru's waters, lighter, purer, and fresher. But just as he was savoring the moment, a hissing sound caught his attention. His eyes immediately scanned the area, and he noticed a shadow moving nearby. Something larger than the serpentine creature that had emerged from the water was gliding towards him. Alalu quickly drew his weapon and fired a beam. The creature shifted for a moment, then collapsed lifelessly onto the ground. Alalu took a deep breath. Earth was not only filled with discoveries, but also dangers. Turning quickly, he decided to return to his ship, taking the fruits and water samples with him. The sun was slowly descending, and the sky was turning a reddish hue. He noticed how short the day seemed. Time was different on Nibiru. Here, the days passed much faster. He would need to adjust to the cycle of this new world. As night approached, a shining object in the sky caught his attention. Large, white, and bright, this celestial body was Earth's companion, Kingu, the moon. Seeing the things he had been told about come to life filled Alalu with deep excitement. The planets, their orbits, the hammered bracelet, and Earth. Everything that had been described was real. But there was still one crucial thing to discover: gold. If the element that could bring salvation truly existed here, it could change Nibiru's fate. The next day, he would set out to find the answer to this question. Earth had offered him many things, but to find the ultimate answer, he needed to look deeper. And this would bring him to the threshold of an unprecedented discovery in history. Beyond time, in an era when existence had yet to take shape, a movement began deep within the universe. The planets had not yet been named, and the stars existed only as faint, bright dots. However, within the infinite darkness of space, the seeds of a massive force were beginning to sprout. This force was Apsu, the sun, one of the ancestors of the solar system. In the middle of the dark void, it found existence as an immense ball of fire. The presence of Apsu radiated heat and light into the universe, and new entities began to form, revolving around it. Amid the silence of the universe, the first celestial beings became apparent. One of them was Tiamat, its counterpart and complement. Tiamat emerged as a colossal planet, composed of vast oceans and clouds of dust. Within its depths, a core was being ejected that would eventually become a planet. As Apsu and Tiamat came together to maintain the balance of the universe, new celestial beings were born from them. These first planets, named Mumu, Lamu, and Lahamu, began to form the foundation of the solar system. Yet with this creation came great chaos. As the planets formed, massive masses in space interacted with each other. The new planets, orbiting around Apsu, began to disturb the balance with their movements. In the chaos, these entities slowly transformed into larger and more powerful planets. During this process, the giant gas planets, Uranus and Saturn, known as Anu and Anshar, emerged. However, this formation posed a threat to Tiamat. The new planets were disrupting its balance, challenging its gravitational force. In its turbulent waters, Tiamat created a new entity, Kingu. Kingu, a moon moving alongside Tiamat, added strength to her. Yet these new formations signaled the onset of a great war within the chaotic structure of the universe. From the depths of space, from an unknown region, a new planet arrived. Its name was Nibiru. This powerful entity, arriving from afar, set out on a journey that would shape its destiny. It possessed an immense gravitational force, leaving its mark wherever it passed. As Nibiru swiftly entered the solar system, it would spark a war that would alter the order of space forever. Nibiru first encountered Anu and Anshar, lightly brushing against their orbits before continuing on its path. However, its greatest battle would be against Tiamat. Tiamat, along with the forces surrounding it, was preparing to resist the arrival of Nibiru. Kingu and the other moons had formed a defensive line. The cosmic war began with the collision of two giants. Nibiru, with its powerful gravitational field, first began to shake Tiamat. Then, with the force of a terrifying power, it collided with Tiamat. This clash became a pivotal event that changed the balance of the universe. Tiamat split in two. One half shattered into pieces and scattered across space, while the other half was drawn into an entirely different fate. The upper half of Tiamat, broken off by the impact of Nibiru, was transformed into something entirely new. Its waters gathered, its surface shaped, and thus a brand new planet was formed, Earth. Kingu, continuing its orbit, became Earth companion, transforming into the moon. In the aftermath of this war, Nibiru left a significant mark on the solar system. The lower half of Tiamat, shattered and scattered, formed the asteroid belt, setting the boundary between the planets. Earth remained as a planet made up of water and land, now suitable for life. Over time, Earth began to sprout the first seeds of life, nurtured by the heat and water. Nibiru, having brought life energy to this newly formed world, played its part in the creation of life. For many centuries, the planets settled into their fates. Earth, however, remained a home carrying the memory of the cosmic war, waiting for new life to take root. Thus, the creation story of the solar system and Earth was written. From chaos, order emerged, and after destruction, new life began. And this new life was just the beginning of a much larger story. Earth, for Alalu, was no longer just a place of exile, but also a source of great hope. The salvation of Nibiru could be hidden within the depths of this foreign planet. The true purpose of his journey was now beginning, to find gold and save Nibiru's deteriorating atmosphere. Upon returning to his ship, Alalu wasted no time activating the scanning devices. The first scans revealed intense metallic formations on the surface of Earth. However, what he was searching for wasn't just any metal, but a rare substance that could strengthen Nibiru's atmosphere: gold. According to ancient accounts, when Tiamat shattered, Earth's veins were said to carry gold. If these stories were true, then this place could be the opportunity fate had granted him. Alalu donned his fish suit again and stepped outside. First, he needed to examine the contents of the water closely. Gold might not only be found in the soil, but also in the waters. He placed the water samples he had collected earlier into the analyzer. The initial tests were promising, but to get definitive results, he needed to conduct more tests. With the first light of dawn, Alalu ventured deeper into the vast marshlands. Carefully taking each step, he knew that at any moment, he could make a new discovery. As he moved slowly through the swamps, he activated the analyzer again. When the data appeared on the screen, his heart raced. There were traces of gold in the waters. He could hardly believe his eyes. The ancient tales were true. Earth indeed contained gold. But this was just the beginning. Alalu knew that he needed a more extensive investigation to confirm the gold source. He decided to move deeper. As he paid closer attention to the surrounding nature, he encountered different soil structures. Upon reaching a rocky area, he placed the analyzer on the ground and waited. The device detected heavy metals, but the amount of gold wasn't sufficient. This did not discourage him. He was convinced he was on the right path. To further his discovery, his next step was to examine larger bodies of water. According to the old stories, large bodies of water were said to harbor gold-bearing sediments. Therefore, Alalu set off in search of a river or a large lake. During his journey, he encountered various sounds from nature. The calls of animals among the trees showed that this planet was teeming with life. But Alalu remained cautious. Unknown dangers could appear at any moment. After some time, he arrived at the bank of a wide river. The current was strong, and glimmers on the surface caught his attention. He dipped the analyzer into the water to examine its contents. Excitedly, he looked at the screen. The result was clear. The water contained noticeable amounts of gold particles. The river was rich in gold, and this was the first step toward his victory. Alalu quickly returned to his ship and recorded this discovery. The next step was to contact Nibiru. He activated his ship's systems and turned on the communication device. Adjusting his voice, shaky but resolute, he began to record his message. Words of the great Alalu, calling to Anu of Nibiru. I am on another world. I have found the salvation gold. Nibiru's fortune is now in my hands. Hear and accept my terms. After sending the message, a long wait began. Would Nibiru receive the message? If they did, how would they respond? Would they trust him, or would they believe it was a trap? Alalu gazed up at the sky, wondering, had he rewritten his destiny in the depths of this foreign planet? If you found this discovery exciting, don't forget to like our video. Subscribe to our channel to embark on more explorations about the search for gold and Alalu's story. Also, share your thoughts with us. Do you think Alalu's discovery could truly be a salvation for Nibiru? We can't wait to hear your opinions. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss our new videos. Until the next exploration, goodbye.